welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're going to tell you everything that we learned about the TRS Yucatan All-Inclusive Resort by Wyndham in Riviera Maya, Mexico. We visited this resort in June of 2024 and found getting there pretty straightforward as we flew Southwest Airlines directly from our home city of Greenville, South Carolina. One of the big stressors for me when planning a trip to a country I've never been to is reliable transportation after you land to your hotel. Cancun Airport actually has a tab on their website that shows you some of their trusted transportation services, which I found very helpful. If you click the view rates for any one of those services, put in the information about where you're going, you will actually get a quote for all of the services they have provided, which I felt really helpful because you could compare cost to cost for private and non-private. We ended up choosing to book our round-trip airport transfer through our hotel, who partners with BD Experience, and their rates honestly were very comparable to all of the other ones that we saw recommended by the Cancun airport. Please keep in mind that the TRS Yucatan Hotel is about an hour and a half south of the Cancun airport, so booking a private transfer really is the way to go so you don't have to make various other stops along the way, extending that travel time. Now that we've arrived at the property, I do need to point out that the Wyndham actually owns 4 properties that run side by side all along this same stretch of beach. This consists of 3 Grand Palladium properties and then the TRS Yucatan. All 4 properties are all-inclusive. However, the TRS is the only all-adult facility. Therefore, if you're staying at TRS, you may use the facilities at all 3 Grand Palladium properties. However, the Grand Palladium residents cannot use the TRS facilities. Even though we had access to all 4 resorts, we were only going to be on site for 5 days and 4 nights, so we really did try and focus all of our time on the TRS property. The exception to that will be 2 of the restaurants we ate at, and I will make sure to give you an on-screen cue when that occurs. To begin our property tour, I'm going to show you around the main building of the TRS Lobby. This is where you're going to find reception, several bars, and several restaurants. The other thing located in the TRS main lobby is the Chic Cabaret Auditorium, and I'm going to talk more about this later in the video because we actually did go here one evening. Even sticking just to the TRS property, we learned pretty quickly that it is a very large property spread out over a very beautiful landscape. So the easiest way to get from place to place is by hopping on a golf cart. There are lots of them whizzing around the property, and all you need to do is flag one down, hop on, and they'll take you wherever you need to go. Leaving the lobby, we're now going to head over to Building 65, which was where our room was located. From there, I'm going to give you a tour of the infinity pool, saltwater pool, and beach, as outlined here on this map. Exiting our building, we're going to take this main path towards the beach. Up there you can see Helios is to my left and the main infinity pool is to my right. Now this stretch of beach here is not swimmable, but you will get to see that beach in just a couple minutes. I'm just going to continue walking straight towards the coast, and as I turn around, you're going to see Helios and the main infinity pool behind me. I am going to take the little sandy path in front of the infinity pool all the way down to the far end. This large infinity pool is the main pool for the TRS property. There is a bar located at either end, and there are lots of bolly beds and sun loungers. However, we learned that the vast majority of them are reserved for travel club and VIP members, meaning you cannot rent any of these bolly beds, and the majority of sun loungers are not accessible to regular hotel guests. This can make it difficult to find a bed if the pool is rather busy. This policy seems like it needs to be adjusted, as the vast majority of the bolly beds and sun loungers are completely empty from the time the pool opens till it closes, and yet regular paying guests of the hotel aren't able to locate a place to sit and enjoy the pool. You should also note that the infinity and saltwater pools are open from 10 to 6 every day. There is a third smaller pool located by the main lobby area that is actually open from 10 to midnight each day. As I make my way back down towards Helios, we're going to come to the bar that has a small grill attached to it. This grill area is actually open in that in-between time when the restaurants close for lunch and dinner. So if you were to arrive on the property, say at 3 p.m. and were hungry, this would be where you go to get something to eat. They have a set menu of pizzas, sandwiches, and salads they offer, but every day they do a varying menu of fresh grilled food. Once again, you're going to find me standing in front of Helios, which I promised to talk more about in the restaurant section of this video, but I'm going to continue to take the little sandy path down along the ocean, heading towards the saltwater pool. Just a 5-minute walk down the path will bring you to the saltwater pool. This pool also has a bar, restrooms, and showers at it, and we spent most of our time at this pool just because it was much quieter, much smaller, and way more relaxing than the main infinity pool. As I make it to the saltwater pool, you can see these 2 bolly beds up here at the top. These are available for free, first come, first serve. You don't have to pay for them or make a reservation. You're also going to see some much cooler wicker enclosed bolly beds around this pool. Now you can rent these as a regular hotel guest. They run you about $43 a day, but also come with butler service that will go and fetch you food and drinks whenever you want. So many things that make this saltwater pool super unique. But first, let me say that the hotel does clean up all of the seaweed daily, and in just a few seconds you'll see that it is completely gone. Secondly, this is actual ocean water, and the bottom of the pool is just the regular ocean floor. The waves crash over this low wall here into the pool, as well as having 2 entry points at either end. These open-ended entry points allow regular sea life to swim freely in and out of this pool. So as you can see here, I am snorkeling in the pool on property and seeing all of these amazing fish. You can see a large variety of things in here, so please make sure you pack your snorkel and mask with you to take advantage of this. Can someone out there tell me what these are? They were all along the pool walls and I cannot figure it out. Here are just some more fish that you see swimming around, and truly I saw so many more amazing things that I didn't even capture on film. I did manage to drag myself away from the saltwater pool to continue our little tour down this path headed towards the beach area. In less than 10 minutes following this path, you will arrive at the beach. Now, the beach part that I explored is actually not the main TRS beach, even though it is the closest to the property. You are absolutely allowed to use this end of the beach, but TRS does have a adults-only dedicated beach down at the very far end of the property. So the easiest way to get to that beach would be to hop on a golf cart and ask for a ride. As you can see, the entire strip of beach that all 4 Wyndham resorts is at is extremely beautiful. And I think the main reason for going all the way down to the TRS end of the beach would be because of the bar and grill. This one here at this end was actually not open when we were there, so if that was something you wanted to enjoy while beachside, that would be a definite reason to go. I did check with staff, and all of these beach loungers you're seeing in front of me are available at no charge to TRS guests. Now that I've shown you around the main parts of the property, let's move on to restaurants. Even though TRS guests can use any of the restaurants at all 4 properties, our stay was so short that the amount that we got to go to was very limited. First up is Helios. This beachfront restaurant is going to be your main go-to for breakfast and lunch. Both of these meals are served as a buffet, and then at dinner time it does revert back to an a la carte menu. You do not need a reservation for breakfast or lunch, but all of the dining facilities do require reservations for dinner, and you can make those reservations with the butler service at your building. Even though this is a breakfast buffet, if breakfast foods are not your thing, don't worry, because they do actually offer a large variety of more brunch type options. I do want to point out one thing that seemed pretty confusing for everyone when they went to the buffet. I did confirm with the staff that any time a food item was portioned on to its individual little dish, whether that was a little cast iron one or a ceramic plate, you are supposed to take that whole little dish with you. Here's a good example. Those little dishes you would just put on your plate and go back to your table with. We're going to remain at Helios for the moment, and I'm going to show you around the lunch buffet. You're also going to notice that everyone is dressed very casually for this lunch buffet because most people are coming either from the pool or the beach. We really felt like they did a good job of offering a wide variety of foods that would appeal to just about everybody, so even picky eaters should be able to find something they like on this lunch buffet with no problem at all. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you rent one of the Bali beds at the saltwater pool, it does come with butler service. And we did choose to do this one day. We rented this spot from 10 to 6 p.m. and we really didn't want to leave. So we did choose to have our butler service go over to the Infinity Bar and Grill and bring us some fresh grilled pork and nachos. Now we're going to move back over to the main part of the resort, to Laalia. This is actually part of the White Sands property and is a buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We ate here a few times and I filmed both once at breakfast and once at dinner so you could see the variety of foods they have to offer. There were two big differences between this breakfast buffet and the one offered at Helios. The first thing is this buffet does offer a cook-to-order omelet station. The second thing I noticed is at Helios, all of the food is already pre-portioned into single-serve dishes, where here at Laalia, it is more of a traditional buffet style. Now you might be wondering why we came to the dinner buffet instead of going to one of the fine dining options, and there's actually two reasons for this. We were only on site for 4 evening meals. The first night we went to the Brazilian restaurant for dinner and honestly, we just didn't enjoy it. The meat was overcooked and their options for sides were very limited, so we came here afterwards. On our third evening, we ate at a different fine dining restaurant and again, just didn't enjoy the meal. So on our fourth and final night, we decided to forego the fine dining option and just come straight to the buffet because we figured we were going to end up here anyway. Now, even though we didn't enjoy the 2 sit-down restaurants that we went to, we still wanted to share those experiences with you. This is the small buffet area in the Brazilian restaurant. You can see they offer a variety of fresh baked breads, lots of fresh veggies, and as I turn the corner here, you'll see some lunch meat and cheeses available, and then just around the corner from that are some cold salads. But that's all they offered. They didn't offer any kind of rice or potatoes or pasta to go with any of the meats they served, which you can see here. We really just felt that the meats were just overcooked and very dry, and the lack of options to go with them just a little disappointing. On the third evening, we went to the Galo Steakhouse on the TRS resort. Now, in the cart on the way over there, one of the other guests warned us to go ahead and order our steaks undercooked because they would definitely come out overcooked otherwise. And the steaks really did not have any flavor or seasoning on them. They offer a variety of gravies that you can dump on them, and we pretty quickly figured out why. I can say here that the variety of sides that they offered were much better than the Brazilian restaurant, but when you go to a steakhouse, you expect a good steak. And sadly, they just didn't deliver. Now on the other end of that spectrum, the Chic Cabaret dinner show was absolutely amazing. The pre-show for this starts at 7:30 just outside of the Chic Auditorium, and even if you are not attending the actual show, you can come and enjoy this. I do want to say up front that this is not included with your all-inclusive package. It is about $52 a person, but it is a 7-course meal and a dinner show. They do have an all-vegetarian menu and can also cater to those with food allergies. Again, I truly cannot say enough amazing things about this show and the food. It was absolutely worth it. Now, we did not order from the traditional room service options. However, that full menu is available on the Grand Palladium app as well as on the TV in your room. What we did use was the early breakfast option, which is done through room service, but it is a limited menu that is delivered at a predetermined time. You can set this up with butler service in your building. Now, before I move on to the room tour, I do want to stress these dining must-knows so you can get the most out of your stay. Okay, so moving on to the room tour. Again, we stayed in building 65, which was really conveniently located right by Helios and the main pool. When you walk into your building, it is an open-air building, and you will see your butler service directly there on your right-hand side. Something else to note is there are no elevators, so you will have to use the stairs to get to the second and third floors. So if you have any kind of mobility issues, be sure to note that and request a ground floor room. We did get upgraded to a suite at this property, and I'll explain how that happened a little bit later, but the room does have all of the standard amenities you would expect from an all-inclusive resort. The resort does offer turn-down service, which is really nice. Housekeeping comes in the evening, removes all of the fancy pillows off of your bed, gives you a bottle of water and chocolate on your nightstand, and just make sure that all the curtains are drawn and the room is nice and cozy. I do have to say one thing we found a little odd was in the bathroom, all of the surfaces are really reflective. So the toilet and the shower are separate little areas, but all of the walls are like tinted black glass. So whether you're in the shower or on the potty, you have a 360 view of yourself in every direction. Something different that this resort does is after you check in, your butler will send you a text message through the WhatsApp asking what types of alcohol you want delivered to your room. You get to choose from this list here, and then it's brought up to you by room service. We actually liked this WhatsApp feature because as your butlers change shifts during the day, your new butler would send you a message letting you know they were now on staff and all of the different things that were available on the property for you to do that day. We found this super helpful because it was an easy way to get in touch with our butler and get any question we might have answered. Last but definitely not least is cost. Let's talk what it costs to stay at this Wyndham resort. We actually used our Wyndham points to stay at this resort. The cost for that was 30,000 points a night plus $8 in tax. Had we not used points, you can see that this same room would have cost us somewhere between $1,400 and $1,700 for our 5 days, 4 nights. I do need to point out that our Diamond Wyndham status did earn us an upgrade. Had we paid for the suite we got upgraded to, it would have been between $1,600 and $2,000 for that same 5-day, 4-night stay. Let us know what you think of the resort down in the comments below. Or maybe you have some questions for us, like how we earn all of these points to stay at all of these resorts. Whatever it is, let us know. We really want to tailor these videos to give you the type of content that you're looking for. Thank you so much for watching, and happy travels.